1045 The Team, 1045theteam.com. Brady and Goz in for Levac and Wolf today on this Memorial Day. Also working on this Memorial Day, Alex Hooper, our friend at 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland. As the basketball world watches the Thunder and the Warriors tonight in Game 7 in the West, the Cleveland Cavaliers sitting at home waiting to figure out their opponent. What was your biggest takeaway from Cavs Raptors in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Man, the one thing I took away is the Cavs are not built for their front court to struggle. Obviously, LeBron James is going to bring everything every night. That's what he does in the playoffs. But when Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson don't play well, the Cavs really struggle, and you saw that in 2 games they lost to the Raptors, the only 2 games they've lost yet in the playoffs. Just neither of those guys played very well at all, and it just made the Raptors look so much better. And the other thing, too, is obviously with the Raptors, how good that team is, what they have going forward with Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. They're just one piece away, it seems like, from being a real threat to the Cavs in the East. So I guess that's a good thing for Cleveland. You don't want to rest on your laurels, obviously, championship or not at this point, because next year you're going to have that Raptors team breathing down your neck.
Alex, there's a lot of people that thought this would be a sweep, and then quickly Cavaliers would win easily. Any concerns that the series had gone 6 games and something in the series may have popped up as a weakness for this Cavs team?
I don't think it really showed any weaknesses that other teams didn't know about, especially teams like, Oklahoma City and Golden State. I don't think it unmasked any sort of weakness. It might have tired the guys out a little more, but it also might have given them some adversity and let them see some of their own downfalls. I think really, obviously now that they've moved on to the finals, you can look at it technically as a good thing because the Cavs got out with all of their health intact. No one looks like they're going to be extensively injured. No one really looked banged up. You could probably look at it and see some things to work on, but I don't think there's anything that you could take out of that series that will be an issue going forward. It's just now the team has to game plan for whoever they get after tonight.
Alex Hooper, 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland with us on 1045 The Team and 1045theteam.com. Brady and Goz in for Levac and Wolf on this Memorial Day Monday. Alex, the big 3, LeBron, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, how have they come together? Because really the second half of the season they've taken off. Is it everyone's buying in individually and collectively? Is it a Tyronn Lue thing versus David Blatt thing? How have they played so well together?
I think a lot of it is Ty Lue. These guys have just really responded to him. They took a lot from David Blatt, and Ty Lue will tell you that, LeBron will tell you that. But now that Ty is their guy and their coach, this team has just come together. The dynamic of the team, if you're around them, you can just tell how much happier everyone is. The other thing, too, is the 82-game regular season, that's just a giant warm-up for these guys. They knew that they would be in this position, so a lot of the problems that came through those 82 games, a lot of the media stories were just things that weren't necessarily relevant, and they were just trying to stay healthy but still grow as much as they could as a team. But once they get to the playoffs, that's when they all start to ramp things up, and when those big 3 are all playing at 100% effort-wise and, health-wise, they grow at just leaps and bounds. And you saw it in the first couple of rounds last year, the first one being the only one with all 3 of those guys. But just how they looked against the Celtics in the playoffs last year, it was just leaps and bounds over what they did in the regular season that year, even though, you didn't have all 3 of those guys through that whole course. And then as they went on through the playoffs, just LeBron and Kyrie, it seemed like they took off quite a bit. And just now that you're back in the playoffs, now that you've played through 3 series, these guys just grow together so much. And I think offensively, they're running at absolute peak performance. It's going to be tough to stop them. You're just going to have to either outscore them or find a way to do something defensively to slow any one of those guys down. But yeah, you're right. They're just really rolling. They're a lot of fun to watch on a night-to-night basis, and they're just playing with such unity. And some of these bench guys, too, like Channing Frye, have made gigantic differences on this team.
Alex, I can't believe that I'm about to ask this, but if I can peel back the curtain, I find myself rooting for the Cavs. I find myself rooting for LeBron to get a title for Cleveland. My dad's from Akron. He's been a Cavs fan forever. Does this have to be LeBron beating the Warriors for this championship if they get it to be completely justified nationally? Because I'm just waiting for the pundits to say, well, they didn't beat the Warriors if Oklahoma City's to win tonight.
that's a lot of what we've been talking about today in the last couple of days here in Cleveland. Personally, I don't care. I will take a championship any way we can get it, and I think that the better matchup for the Cavs is the Thunder, but we've had a lot of callers today saying, we want to stick it to Steph Curry, and if I had a dime for every time I heard someone complain about Steph Curry's mouthpiece, I would be rich and moving on from this job, but I don't feel that way. I'm just a fan of the game, and I love what the Warriors do. But as far as the national narrative and that goes, people are going to spin it any way they want to. I think it would certainly mean more as far as stories go and how the media would treat it if the Cavs did take down Golden State. Plus, that would give them the whole rubber match thing next year, and they would just be playing to that point. But, I don't feel that way. I understand why a lot of people want that revenge. People want that storybook ending, and really, I wrote an article on this ways back, like right at the start of the playoffs. That seems like the only way Cleveland could break this long drought of not having a championship is having to do it against all odds, against the team that beat them last year and stuff like that. But I don't think it has to be that way. I surely don't care, and I actually kind of like the matchup with the Thunder more because I'm a big Russell Westbrook fan, a big Kevin Durant fan. I've always liked Serge Ibaka, so that's a team I want to see. Also, Billy Donovan, what he's done there, I think that gives a whole lot more credence to that team as well.
Alex Hooper, 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland with us, 104.5 The Team, 104.5theteam.com. Brady and Goz in for Levac and Wolf today.
Alex, I know you're busy. We'll get you out of here on this. Is Golden State the matchup that Cavs really want, or is it the Thunder? Because the Thunder, if they do win this series, they would have knocked off a great Spurs team and one of the best teams regular season-wise in NBA history.
I've been going through thinking that the Thunder are the better matchup, but like you just said, it doesn't really matter. If the Thunder get through, they're obviously as good a team or as good at scheming as Golden State. If they do enough to get past those two teams, they're obviously worthy of being in the NBA Finals, and you're going to have to prepare for them just the same. As far as the Warriors go, you know what you're going to get. You kind of know what they're going to do against you in an NBA Finals situation. So either way, there's pluses and minuses, but I think as far as personnel goes, I think the matchup's way better with the Thunder. You can play those guys straight up. Obviously, Kyrie Irving guarding Russell Westbrook is a bit of a concern, but when the Thunder bring in Dion Waiters, if that's something that they do in the series, knowing this piece of information, you can bring in Matthew Dellavedova and you can move Kyrie Irving over to the 2 and let him guard Waiters because, to be honest, he's not too much of a threat, as we saw here in Cleveland. But you can't do that with Andre Roberson on the floor. That's kind of the one little shake-up there. So Kyrie Irving's going to have to play a ton of defense, but you play, LeBron on Durant. You play Love on Ibaka. You can't move Love to the 5 because Cantor and Adams will probably push him around. I don't think you're going to be able to pull those guys away from, deep inside and pull them away from the boards. Tristan Thompson is going to have to do exactly what they paid him to do in that series. If it is the Thunder, he's going to have to battle really hard with those two guys downtown. I think Adams is kind of, at this point in the season and in the West, a rich man's Tristan Thompson. And I don't like saying that because I love Double T, but Adams has just been playing strong and hustling with the ball. But, it's something I'm interested in seeing. Are those two guys going at it, and what happens when Cantor comes into the game?
Alex Hooper, 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland with us on this Memorial Day with Brady and Goz. We're in for Levac and Wolf. Alex, we'll let you out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day. Hey, and enjoy some Memorial Day baseball. The Indians playing pretty well for you guys out there. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Enjoy your Memorial Day.